All right. So thank you everyone for joining our webinar today. I'll introduce myself. My name is Sue and I'm a guru here at Shopify and I'll be your host today. I am going to try to go over as much as I can about our Shopify store because I want to be able to cover as much of the required steps that you'll need to take in order to open up an e-commerce store. I'm also going to try to pack in a lot of information, so I'm going to be throwing in some tips at you along the way to help you kind of run your business and operate your business online a little bit easier. So we can take a quick look at the agenda today and just see what we'll be covering. And let's take a look here. Okay, so we'll be looking at adding products and how to organize them into collections, which is another word for categories. We'll then take all that content and then we'll add in additional content like your blog pages, your regular pages, navigation and links, etc., and how to kind of link them all to your website. And you use the navigation tool to do that, and you use our themes tool to do that. So I'll show you some cool new features for our themes. Before we launch the site, I'll also cover some of the kind of topics like our domains, taxes, shipping, so that you're covered for all of those. And then if we have some time, we'll cover some of the apps that you can download and kind of integrate with your store. And then we'll cover some resources that we have available. So again, like I mentioned, my goal today is to try to cover as much as required in order for you to run your online store. So let's go ahead and kind of get started. So if you haven't already, you want to start by creating your online store, and you can do that by going to shopify.com, or in my case here, shopify.ca, and you can click on the Get Started guide. So the first thing that we ask you for is an email address for you to use to log in. So these are your credentials. And then we'll also ask you to create password for that as well. The next thing we ask you for is a store name. Think of it as like an account number, but it's just like an account name. We're going to give you the opportunity to create one yourself. So try to use one that's as close to your business as possible. But we will be using it as like a default domain name for you. But in the end, you are able to purchase a custom domain name so that it's a little bit more professional to use and present to your customers. So for an example, if I wanted to say, I wanted to create a store that says Sue's awesome stuff. It tells me that it's available by showing me this little green check mark. I also wanted to take note that anytime there's characters or there are spaces in between, because we will be using it as your default domain name, our system will replace them with a dash in between. So if you don't want the dashes there, you just want to make sure you remove them. So you might do Sue's awesome stuff. That, no spaces. Okay. So once you create your store, you'll be presented with a page like this. Now, my apologies. It'll actually be your home page. It'll say welcome. There we go. Before we get into any further details, I just wanted to let you know that if you are requiring any additional help, I would highly recommend for you to take a look at our resources. We've got tons of guides and videos available, and we also have a huge database here within our help center. So Shopify has created this beautiful manual for you to use. We've got step-by-step instructions. We've also recorded some brand new video tutorials for you to watch through. So yeah, have a look. Just type in your query inside this little search engine here, and it'll come up with the most relevant documents for you to go through. Okay, so moving along, I guess that's my first tip. If you need help, just click or type in help.shopify.com. Okay, all right, so let's move along. So I imagine that once you've created your store, we're going to ask you a little bit more information before you get to this particular page here. It's going to be like your shop address. Have you been selling? So when you fill out that information, make sure that you fill it out as honestly as possible, because based on the information you input, we may be sending you some relevant documents to help you out as well. Okay, for reals now. Back to the store here. Now the next step that I have for you is, once you've created your store, so in my case here, I've created a store name called littletrinkets.myshopify.com. So I typed in my store name as Little Trinkets, and then the domain that my customers would use right now would be .myshopify.com to view my website. Now, for you as a merchant, if you want to be able to access the back end of your store, you can add this little /admin here to log in. So anytime you want to access the backend to manage any of your products, your settings, or etc. for your online store, just make sure to add that /admin to get to this page here. Okay. So we refer to this as your admin. Anytime you have to configure your settings, think of it like a back-end store stock room that you would have in a retail store. It's sort of like that, because this is where you're going to be housing all of your products, where you can keep track of your product inventory, etc. And how we navigate would be on the left-hand side here in this gray menu bar. So we see the home, orders, products, customers, etc. So you would have all these navigation here to help you navigate the different areas and settings of your online store. So a lot of the merchants that I talk to ask me, now that I've created my store, where would I go? The first thing that I want our merchants to focus on are your products. You came here to sell your products. We want your products to shine. So let's start with that. Let's go ahead and create products. Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, I will be creating a jewelry store. So we're going to change things up a little bit. So hope you guys like this tutorial. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and go to products, and I'm going to click on add a product. Now, the first product I'll be adding is going to be called the owl pendant necklace. Okay. So I just wanted to let you know that our Shopify platform is very SEO friendly. Every time you type in a product name and a description, that'll be used to help towards your SEO. So that's called search engine optimization, to help your shop be kind of indexed in search engines, and then allow those search engines to pull the information that you've entered to have a better ranking in the search results. So when you're titling your product or adding a description, make sure you use descriptive words. So I think it's very important for you to add a description to your products. And you want to use descriptive words. You want to use as much information as possible that you have about it. I didn't have a lot of time to put together a description, so it's very short, so don't copy what I'm doing. But I wanted to let you know some tips here. So I'm using very keywords like charming, handmade, even though I didn't spell handmade right, so let me edit that. You want to use descriptive words like I'm using sterling silver chain necklace. I think I spelled that wrong too. You want to make sure you're spelling that correctly. So you want to use descriptive words. A lot of people will use that to kind of get a better idea of what you're selling. So that's the main difference between selling online and selling in store. Selling online, your customers won't have the ability to pick up the product and feel it. So you want to make sure that you put descriptive words in the description of your product so that your customers can get a better idea. So in this case, I may have put information like how large my pendant is, how long the chain is, what the chain's made out of, what are the main materials, things like that. That can be included in the description. All right, so I just wanted to give you a better sense of why it's so important for you to use a description and don't leave it blank. Okay, so that was my third tip for you. Okay. Moving along, we can see here that the next thing that we ask for when it comes to your products is your product image. So I'm going to go ahead and upload my first product here. So I do have this image. And you can upload multiple images. So I do have another image here. And what we want to do here is make sure that you're adding images that are consistent in size and shape. In my case, I don't have consistent sizes here, and we'll take a look and see why. But I'm going to go ahead and make sure that all the rest of my products will have the same featured image, the same size, and I'll let you know the consistency in that. Otherwise, what we do recommend is that you have an image that is starting at 1024 pixels. If you want a square, then you can do 1024 pixels by 1024 pixels. But depending on the type of products and images that you take, it can vary. We just want to make sure that from product to product, the size is the same at the very least. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is make sure we add in information about what we want to collect from our customers. You'll notice that there's a price section here, and I've typed in that I want to collect $25 from my customers. Now, you'll also see a compare at price. Compare at price is to indicate that the item is on sale. So if I ever want to place this product on sale, so I might do $20 is what I want to collect. I want to compare it to the original price, which was at $25. But in this case, I'm going to leave it blank, and I'm going to change it back to 25. We also ask if you would like to charge taxes on the product. I do, so I'm going to go ahead and check that off. If you're not required to charge taxes on your product, you can uncheck this, but by default, it will be checked. Next, we have the inventory section. So if you have a SKU or a barcode for your product, you can go ahead and put that information in. If you don't, it's optional, so you can leave them blank. So, a small jewelry maker like myself working out of my apartment, I may not have like a warehouse that has SKUs. I may not have a retail store that I have to keep track of barcodes. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank. But what I can do is allow Shopify to track the inventory. Excuse me. So in this inventory section here, by default it says don't track the inventory, but let's say I make a handful of these pendants a week. I want to make sure that I don't oversell, otherwise I may get too many products coming in and I may not be able to kind of fulfill all of my orders. So I want Shopify to be able to track this inventory for me. And I'm going to say that this week I've made 5 of these pendants. And then you'll notice that there's an option here, allow customers to purchase this product when it's out of stock. So what happens is after I've sold the 5, do I want to be able to go into the negative quantity amounts and allow orders to continue on? Or do I want to just have it say sold out? In my case, I want it to say sold out. And if you have a warehouse, or if you're getting your products manufactured somewhere else, or it's being sourced from another supplier, and you know that the stock is replenished quite quickly, then you may want to look into the idea of checking this option to allow stock to go into the negative amounts. But in my case, because I'm hand making my items, I'm going to go ahead and just indicate that I'm making 5 for now, and I'll see how that does. Next, we want to add shipping information for the product. So if it's a physical product that I can, pick up and, put into a package and drop it off at my local carrier to have it shipped to my customers, then yes, I do want to make sure that this is checked. The only reason you would uncheck this option is if you are selling a service or if you're selling a digital good. So if you're selling digital music or files or, videos, then you can uncheck this option. If you're selling services like maybe shoe cleaning or jewelry cleaning or consultations or anything like that, then you want to uncheck that option because it's nothing that requires physical items being shipped anywhere. But in my case, in this store, I'm selling jewelry. It is a physical product, so I'm going to leave that checked. I also want to make sure that I have a weight for my products. So you'll notice here that I have the ability to add a weight, and I can also change the measurement of the units as well. So in this case, I do have a weight for my product. I just want to go ahead and double check that it's not going to be anything too crazy here. So let's see. The weight that I have is 2 ounces. I think that's about right. Perfect. And if you want to sell internationally, you can look up tariff codes for your customers. Otherwise, in this case, I'm just going to sell to my local area, and I'm just going to go ahead and leave that blank. Now, because I'm manually shipping out the items, I'm going to leave the fulfillment service to manual. But if you have your items drop shipped from another source, you may want to have that set up in your shipping pages. I'll quickly go over that when we go over shipping later on. But once you've set up that drop shipping service, you'll have the ability to indicate that this particular product will be shipped by a third party. But in this case, I'm going to leave it manual because I'm going to be personally dropping off the items. Okay, so moving along, we want to ask if your product comes in different variations such as colors or sizes. In my case, my necklace does come in different colors and sizes. So for instance, instead of size for a necklace, I'm gonna put the chain material, or I might say material. So I might say that my items come in gold, silver, and platinum. I can edit them, so I can just click on the little X there, and I might type in sterling silver. That's a little bit more accurate. And you'll notice that these little boxes appear, and how I'm doing that is just typing in a comma, and it creates a little box. And then next, my pendants may come in different colors. So you can change what the option name is going to be. By default, size and color is usually the most popular, but you can change them like I've been doing here. So this way I'm going to put color. There we go. And my little owls come in blue, comma, red, comma, and gold, comma. And if I scroll down, you'll notice that I have the variations listed here. So, if I wanted to do gold, it's going to cost a little bit more. I'm going to say it'll be $50 for the gold. Then I can go ahead and change that. And then, platinum, I might say $75, and I can go ahead and change those prices like that. If I have, different SKUs or barcodes and inventory counts for each, then I can go ahead and change that as well. So I'm going to leave the rest as is. And if we move along, we'll now have the search engine listing preview. So this is just a preview of what your search result may look like when someone Googles, owl pendant. So it comes up as owl pendant necklace. It'll show the link to the product, and it'll show a part of my description. Now, if I want to change this at any time, I can click on the little edit SEO here, and I can change that. And there is a character limitation, because as you can tell, when you search for something on Google, the result doesn't show up like an entire website. It just shows a little blurb about what the website is going to be about, so you can click on it and you can see the rest of the page. But in this case, I do like the way it is displayed. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is. I'm going to scroll back up to the product, and we're almost done here. On the right-hand side, we can pay attention to the visibility. So what that means is right now, I'm only selling my products on my website, which is called my online store. So I have this checked. If I want to hide my product from the website, like let's say I sold out of the items, I don't want it to say sold out, I just don't want it to be visible. Perhaps I'm no longer making this particular product and I'm moving in a different direction, but I might, come back to it later on. I might hide this item so that it's still counted in my inventory and it's still available, but I'm not actually, proactively selling it yet or making it available to sell. Another option that you can use is like if you're preparing for another season and you want to be able to kind of, put all your products information and kind of get ready for launch, you can go ahead and schedule, a date that you want the product to be published. But in this case, I want it to be sold right away. So I'm going to make sure that I leave this checked. Next, we have the organization section. And to me, this is one of the most important sections because many of you will have hundreds and maybe even thousands of products that you're selling. We want to make sure that you're able to organize and kind of be able to locate your products as easy as possible. So it depends on how well you've organized them. In this case, I might indicate something like this product is a necklace, and it could be as broad or specific as you'd like. So if I wanted to be more broad, the necklace, I might just say jewelry. But in this case, I'm not going to. I'm just going to be specific and say necklace. Vendor can be the brand or supplier. In this case, it's just me. So I'm just going to say Shopify. And collections, I'm going to kind of breeze past this a little bit because we'll go into more depth later on. But it's just a way to group your products into categories. We just call them collections instead. And but right now we'll pass that and we'll go along with tags. So tags are not to be confused for SEO purposes or meta tags for your website. Tags are, again, a quick way to identify the type of product that you have. So we'll use like a couple words to describe the product. For example, I might tag this as an owl, comma, animal, comma, necklace, comma, it's a jewelry, it's a pendant, and it can be accessories too. Let's make sure I spell that correctly. Oop, I pressed tab instead when I should have been typing a comma. Accessories, comma. There we go. So these are quick little one-word descriptions of the product. I might want to venture in and put in like gold or platinum or sterling silver if I wanted to make a category later on for just those types of products. But in this case, I'll leave it as is, and I'm going to go ahead and save it. Right, so we're just waiting for this little blue progress bar to run across the site here, and then it'll let us know that the product has been saved. So it's not so bad. We're just asking you, some basic information about your particular product so that your customer can make the, decision to purchase it. So as much information that you've put in there can only benefit you. Beautiful. Okay, so I've saved the product now. Not so bad, right? Well, I'm going to do this a couple more times, but I'm going to be a little bit more quicker at it. So when I go back to my products tab, you can see that I have the owl pendant necklace listed there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add another product. And this product, I'm going to name it the elephant brooch. I do have a description readily available. Make sure I put it in the right area. I'm going to upload an image. Beautiful. So you can see it's consistent in size compared to my last image. And the price for this product is $25. I'm not going to put it on sale. I do want to charge taxes. I don't have a SKU or barcode, but I do want to track the inventory. I'm going to say I have 5 of these as well. I don't want to allow my stock to go into the negatives. It is a physical product I'm shipping. And this is also approximately 2 ounces. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's fulfilled manually. I do have other styles. So this elephant comes in 2 styles, without ears, comma, and ears. With ears. Add another option here. I have color. So this elephant comes in gray, comma, white, comma. I can change the prices, but I'm not going to. I like the SEO the way it is, so I'm going to scroll back up. See, it's got cute little ears, and then this one doesn't have little ears. That's what I mean. All right, so visibility, I want to make sure it's online. And the product type here, I'm going to say it's a brooch. The vendor is Shopify as well. So another thing that you can do is once you've created a product type, you want to make sure that you keep it consistent, because if I say brooch or if I say brooches, singular versus plural, the system will recognize them as 2 separate types. You may not want to do that because you mean the same thing, but since you've applied 2 different types to it, it will recognize 2 different kind of information for your product. So you want to keep it consistent. One thing that you can do is use these arrows, and you can try to look or locate for other information that you've had before. So in this case, I'm going to put in Shopify and collections. Again, I'm going to breeze past that, and then tags. I want to add tags for my product. So in this case, I'm going to add, sterling silver. I might add in elephant, animal, brooch. I'm going to add in accessories. Oh, I did that again. Accessories, comma, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. So that was a little bit quicker, right? Beautiful. So product was successfully created. I'm going to create one more just for good measure. That way we have a handful to work with. And I always recommend for you guys to do this as well when you're testing our Shopify store, just so you know your way around. So this next product that I'm going to go ahead and add is called a triangular earring. And I also have a description for these as well. So again, descriptions can be about, your product, how to take care of your product, what materials it's made out of, what inspired you, etc. Anything about the design. Okay, and I'm going to upload an image. And then I have a price. So this is going to be $30 for these earrings. It's not on sale. I want to charge taxes. No SKU or barcode. Track the inventory. I have about 10 of these. And the weight is about the same. It's going to be 2 ounces. And then I am manually fulfilling it. The variant, it does come in different sizes. So I have short earrings and I have long earrings. I'm going to add some color options. They come in black, white, gray, comma. And I'm going to keep the pricing the same. I'm going to scroll back up here. And the type, if I click on these, you can see that I've added brooch and necklace. It fits neither of them, so I'm going to put in earrings. Add that. click on this arrow, it gives me Shopify. I'm going to click that. Again, no collections yet. I'm going to go ahead and add some tags. So I'm going to go ahead and add, sterling silver, comma. I'm going to add earrings, comma, accessories, jewelry, comma. There we go. Okay, go ahead and save this. Product successfully saved. Beautiful. So if I go back to my products list, I have the 3 products that I've added. Oh, it looks as though my owl pendant is missing an image, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this option. We can fix that right away. So in this case, I added 2 images. Oh, it doesn't look like they saved, so I'm going to go ahead and add those images again. I'm going to make sure I add this necklace here. And I'm going to add, oh, I keep clicking on the wrong button, the second necklace. There we go. And some of you may ask, like, what happens if you have multiple images and multiple colors? So in this case, this is a blue owl. I can click and drag this, and I can identify the blue products, and I can go ahead and assign it to the blue products. So you can see how easy that is, assigning an image to a product. So for the other images, I might want to assign it that way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that shows up on my product list now. Beautiful. So you can see all 3 images are added with the same consistent image size for the featured image. So next, what we want to do is we may want to group the products together. So what I may do is, by default here, you can see that there's also a collection that's indicated as homepage. Anytime I add a product to this collection, it will show up on my homepage of my website. I'm going to leave this for now because I want to go through manually how to create a collection, so how to categorize my products with you, because there are 2 different ways you can create a collection. So let's go through the first one. I'm going to go ahead and click on create a collection on the top right hand corner there. And the first collection I'm going to create is called a manual collection. So a manual collection allows me to hand pick items that I want to add to this category. So for the home page, I may want to hand pick certain products I want to feature or showcase. I might want to create, a favorites collection. I might love one product one week, but I might hate it the next week. So I want to be able to control that by hand. So in this particular case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on new arrivals. Some products may be new one week, but they're not going to be new next week, right? So I'm going to create a new arrivals collection where I can hand pick which items I want to add here. The description for the collection isn't as important as the description for a product, so I can leave this blank. And then under conditions, I manually select products. I can set a featured image if I like. In this particular case, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to make sure it's visible online. I'm going to save this collection. Once it's saved, you'll notice that I have the ability to add products now. So if I click on the products, it shows me the list of products that I have. So I can go ahead and add, let's say, my elephant brooch and the owl necklace I want to add. So each time I select a product, it automatically saves. So now I have the 2 here. I can also sort this collection however I like. So right now it's by alphabetical order. If I click manual, I get these little drag icons and I can put it in different orders if I like. So I'm going to go ahead and save these changes. So now I've created my new arrivals collection. I'm going to go back to the collections tab, and I'm actually going to create an automatic or smart collection. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this create collection on the top right hand corner. And this new collection is going to be called jewelry. And automatically select products based on conditions. So what this means is I'm going to create a set of rules. As long as my products match those rules, I'll be able to automatically have products added. So when I import products into my store, by a supplier or from another source, it'll automatically add the products to these collections if my products, match the rules that I create. So one of the rules that I might do is product type is equal to necklace, for an example, because I created a necklace one. So every time I added a product that indicated that the type was a necklace, it'll be added automatically. I can also add more than one rule, so I can make multiple rules. So I might do product tag is equal to jewelry, for an example. So if I save this, every time I tag the product with jewelry, it'll be added. So that's what I've done here. So I want product tag is equal to jewelry, and so my owl necklace and my triangular earrings was a jewelry tag to it, so it's been added. There you go. That's basically the gist of our collection creating. So you can create a set of rules and it'll automatically add products for you, or you can manually handpick items. You can add it to a collection or a category. Beautiful. So we have 3 products, 2 collections. Now we're going to continue on with the theme of creating content. So when I mean content, I'm going to head over to my online store here on the left-hand side. And we're going to take a look at, let's take a look at the pages. Now, a lot of people might ask, what you can use pages for, and pages are great for creating information or static pages that have information that you don't need to update often. So what I mean is you can create an About Us page, a contact page. That information doesn't, change often. So I'm going to go through a couple examples with you. I'm going to first click with Add a Page, and you'll notice like adding products and adding, collections, we ask you for the same thing. We need a title for your page. In this case, I'm going to title it About Us. And I have a description already, so I'm going to go ahead and paste that in here. Beautiful. And I didn't talk a lot about what this tool is called here, but this is called our Rich Text Editor tool. And you'll notice that there's a toolbar at the top there that I can do some formatting with. So one of the things I might format is, my spacing here. I might include an image. So let's see if I have an image already. So I'm going to go ahead and insert an image. And I can upload a file. And I have an About image here that I can use. I'm going to go ahead and select it, and I can insert the image. So then I have an image at the top of my About Us page, so it tells my viewers that I hand make my items, etc. And if I want to see what it looks like, I can click on this preview option on the top right. Make sure I unblock any pop-ups there. Okay, so I can see what that looks like so far on my web page. Not much so far, but I want that image centered. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this. I highlight the image. I click on the image icon again, and I indicate I want to align it centered. So now it's centered, and I save it. Beautiful. Okay. And like your other pages, we have a visibility setting, or your collections or products, we have the visibility setting. So I can make it visible right away, or I can hide it or set a specific publishing date. You'll also notice that we have a template section here. So by default, this is just a page. So it allows you to put in, any of these formatting and then like original text. But if you want different layouts, you can choose different templates. So this may vary depending on the theme that you're using. We'll get into themes a little bit more. But by default, you should have a page and a page.contact. So I'll show you what a contact page looks like. So let's go ahead back to pages. Let's create a new page, and I highly recommend for you to create a contact us page. I think it's very important for your customers to know who to reach out to if they have questions about your products, or seeing if you will ship it to them if you haven't set up a way for you to ship it to certain countries. Okay, so I've created a new contact page. I've titled it Contact Us, and I'm just going to go here and click on page.contact. I'm just going to save it. When I view this, so again on the top right hand corner, this view button allows me to see what the page I'm working on looks like. So when I click on it, it shows me by default that I have a form here. So it says name, email, phone number, messages. Beautiful. So now my customers have the ability to go ahead and contact me. All right, so I've created 3 products, 2 collections. I have 2 pages created. We're going to continue on with one more piece of content, and then I'll start to bring it all together and have it on your web page. So hold on tight. One more thing, and I'll show you what we can do. All right, so a lot of people may ask, what's the difference between pages and blog post? So a blog post is more for information that's more dynamic, so things that will be changing from time to time. So blog pages will allow you to maybe update weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. So anytime you want to communicate with your customers, it's a way for you to kind of build rapport with your customers and invite them to join in the discussion. So for an example, because I'm a jewelry maker, I may talk about, you know, topics that are related to my particular product. So in this case, I do have an article here, and it's 3 things to consider when buying wedding bands. I think this would be a really popular topic with a lot of my viewers or my shoppers, possibly potential customers. I have content already written here, so I'm just pasting that in. And I'm going to also insert an image. All right, so I want to go ahead and insert an image. I have a beautiful wedding image available. It's too large. As you can see, this image is over 20 megapixels, so I can't try that one. But I do have a different image here. I think that's why I have 2. So wedding image, open. There we go, perfect. Insert that. And I want it centered like on my other pages. Beautiful, so I'm going to save it. But notice that the blog posts are hidden by default. I want to make sure that it's visible, so I'm going to go ahead and save that. And let's take a look and see what that blog post looks like. Beautiful. So 3 things to consider when buying wedding bands. It's written by me, posted on today's date, and then it has all the information about what you should do, or what I would suggest as someone who's choosing to buy wedding bands. Okay, so beautiful. Okay, now I promise you that was the last content we're adding. We're now going to start to build our website and put it together. Now you're probably wondering at this point, like, what does the website even look like? So my next tip for you is on the top left-hand corner, you'll notice this little icon. If I hover over it, it indicates View Online Store. This button differs from this button in the sense that this one will always take you to to the page that you're working on. So if I clicked View, it will take me to my blog post page. But if I click here, it'll take me to the home page of my website. Not much to look at right now, right? I have all these placeholder images and text, and I want to be able to customize it. But the first thing I want to do is, I want to create a navigation bar. I want to focus on allowing my customers to navigate freely on my website, and I want to link them to the pages that I've created or the content I've created. Because right now I only have home and catalog by default. Catalog will take me to the products that I have, and home will only take you to the home page. So I want to start customizing this, and I'll show you how to do this. So in the admin here on the left-hand side, under the online store, I want to control the navigation of my website. So I'm going to click on navigate, and I'll show you a few things here. So by default, we have a footer menu. So footer menu will be on the bottom of your website, and it'll show up on every page of the website. And then we have the main menu will be on the top of the website and shown on every page, so that everyone would be able to kind of easily navigate back and forth and get back to where they're going. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this menu. I don't like that it says catalog. I want it to say shop instead. And I'm going to keep that in mind because I want to create a drop-down menu from this. Maybe that's what I'll do first. I'm going to create a drop-down menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this name. So on my keyboard, I'm typing Command Copy. And I'm going to go back to my navigation page, and I'm going to create a new menu list. And I'm going to name this Shop, because what essentially is happening is I want to create a drop-down menu that drops from Shop, and then in the menu items list, I want to link the items that I want to show when the menu drops down. So in this case, I want to create the collection, or I want to link the collections I've created. So I have a new arrivals collection, and I want to say new arrivals, and then I want to add my jewelry. So I use the collection tool to create that, and I link that way. So new arrivals links to the collection I created, which is the new arrivals collection, and then same thing for jewelry. So I'm going to go ahead and save that menu. And if I go back to my web page, there should be a drop down. Beautiful. So now it drops down, new arrivals, jewelry. Beautiful. If I go to new arrivals, it shows me just the 2 items. If I click on jewelry, it shows me a different 2 items. Yeah, perfect. If I click on shop, it'll show me the drop down menu. Beautiful. So I'm going to go back to home, and I'm going to continue linking content. So I'm going to go back to my navigation page. I'm going to go to my main menu, and there were other pages I created. So for instance, I added an About Us, and I use the page tool, and I want to use the About Us. I also have a blog. So I have the blog. I wanted to link to the blog tool, and it's under news. Save item. So if I view my website again, I now have shop, About Us, and blog. And if I want to rearrange how I want this to be shown, I can do that. I can save this. And there's one more thing I wanted to do. I created a contact page, so I want to make sure that that's linked, but I'll add that to my footer menu. Contact us. It's a page I created, and it was linked to the contact page. Beautiful. All right, not so bad. So now I've created all the content here. I've linked them to my website. The next fun thing that we get to do is customizing your theme. So it's your website theme. So I'm going to head over to my themes page here, and that's again nestled under online store themes. And by default, you'll be starting with a debut theme. And if I click on the blue customize theme bar here, it'll take me to my theme editor, and I start to get to play around with how I can customize my website and the look and feel. So one of the things I might do is, I want to replace the little trinket store name with my my logo. So I'm going to go to the header because that's where it's nestled. Upload my logo. Beautiful. It's quite small, so I can change the width of this. So I might do 250. Okay, perfect. I like how that looks. And then I want to make sure my main menu is linked at the top. No other menu is there, unless I want my footer menu there, but I don't want that. So I make sure it's my main menu. Show announcement. Let's see what the announcements bar is. Okay, so if I wanted to do maybe like a special promotion. So this is great for free shipping over $75. I can do a promotional bar like that, but right now I'm not going to show that. I'm going to leave it as is. I want to keep it clean. So far, do I want the logo centered? Nah, I like it left aligned. I want to keep it very simple. Okay, so I like the way it looks right now. I can go ahead and save these changes, but I want to continue customizing this. Okay, so image overlay. I can upload an image. I think I do have a couple images here. Upload that, see what that looks like in this particular theme. Perfect. I can change how the image is aligned. So do I want it on the top? Do I want it on the bottom? I think I kind of liked it in the middle. Actually, maybe on the bottom was best because then I can see the jewelry. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. Now the text I'll be adding, let's see here. I might want to do something like, check, or I might do new looks. And then the text here, I might say, see our latest collection and hot new looks this year. All right. Section height. Let's take a look here. Small. Ooh, that's really small. Kind of liked it the way it was. Perfect. Text size, do I want it medium? No, I liked it large. Do I want a button on here? I might do shop now. And then I might link it to my new arrivals collection. So I might go collections, new arrivals. So then if I click on that, it goes to my new arrivals collection. Beautiful. Do I need to customize anything on my collections page here? Do I want to show the vendor? No, I don't want to show the vendor. It all says Shopify. It's all handmade by me. I don't need to show the vendor. But if you are selling different suppliers, you might want to show that. I don't think do I want tag filtering? No, I don't want the tag filtering on there. Can I sort it? Sure, I'll allow my customers to sort. I don't have much to sort right now. Yeah, I'm just going to remove the sorting option, keep it very simple then. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to go back to my home page. If I go back to my home page, you'll notice that I get my home page settings again. So let's continue along. I have the featured collection. So I might go featured collection. I can choose either my new arrivals or my jewelry page. Okay, so I want to do maybe 2 products per row because I only have 2 products right now in that collection. Do I want to do view all? No, I don't want to do view all button. Okay, let's go back here. Let's customize the image with text. Okay. I'm going to upload that wedding image I had. I quite liked it. And now I want to link it to my blog. I can choose it on the left. No, I don't want it on the left. When it comes to selecting wedding bands, see what we have to say about it. So I might want to do read more as the button, and I want to link it to the blog post. So if I click on read more, it should take me to the blog. 3 things to consider when buying. But what if I want to go specifically to the blog post? Let's customize that. So blog posts, 3 things to consider. Beautiful. So then if I click on here, it goes to the blog post. Perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping to do. I'm going to go home. Just about done. I have 1 section left. Okay. And it's another slideshow. I don't need a slideshow, so I'm going to remove one of the images. I only have 1 image left. If I had multiple images, it would make sense to have a slideshow so then it switches in between. But I only have the 1 image, so I'm going to upload that 1 image I have. And I might do something like a featured promotion. So section height, I might want it to make it small. There's no rotating slides, I don't need that. But what I might want to do is name it free shipping on all orders for a limited time this new year. You can enjoy free shipping. Okay. It doesn't need to link to anywhere, but the alignment is a little bit off. I want to change the alignment. Perfect, because I want to be able to see the jewelry on there. Okay, I think it's coming along, so I've saved my changes here. Yeah, it's coming along. If I ever want to reorder the images, I can definitely do that. So if I want to promote the free shipping, I might want to move that on up. If I liked the items or the images side by side or, on top like that, I may want to keep it that way. Maybe I want to do a website that's just a series of images instead of having my featured products. But in this particular case, I do like that it's 1 image on the bottom, 1 image on the top here. Perfect. So I think this is all coming along. If I wanted to do more, I may want to go into the general settings and change some of the colors around so I can play with the colors. But I think the colors work with some of the images that I have and my logo there. So leave it as is. So you can see how we've created a tool here, our editor tool, that allows you to easily customize the look and feel of your website. And you have the ability to add sections if you needed to add different content to your homepage. So I worked with the default that was on here, but you have the ability to add more. So if you wanted another slideshow section, if you wanted more images with text overlays, featured products or featured collections, you have that ability. You can add, videos and stuff like that too. So keep in mind you have a lot of information here that you can add on your homepage to customize the look and feel, and so that it kind of resembles your business, right? So this is our debut theme. I hope you like it. If you have any feedback, definitely let us know. But I'm not going to pay any more attention to this because I'm going to actually show you what other options you have when it comes to choosing themes. So I'm going to go back to my Shopify admin here. And on this themes page, you'll notice on the top right-hand corner, there's a Visit a Theme Store button. If you click on this button, a new tab will open, and it'll direct you to our theme store where you can shop for different types of themes that have been, curated and designed by, designers. Any of the free themes that are listed here are themes that are supported by Shopify, meaning if you have questions or if you wanted some small tweaks and changes, get in touch with our team and we'll take a look at some of the options that you have. We do offer up to 1 hour of complimentary design tweaks and changes for Shopify supported themes. But if you go with any of the paid themes, you'll notice that these are themes that are premium themes and they're designed by professional studios. And if you click on these themes, you'll notice that we indicate here that this theme is designed and supported by, the design studio. So in this case, this Vogue design is designed by a professional studio called Pixel Union. So if you have any questions or tweaks or changes that you may need to reach out to the design studios. Or if you need a recommendation on who to reach out for or get a quote on some changes or customizations you may need that is beyond the theme settings, we can give you some recommendations. So just keep in mind that you take a quick look to see who designs and supports the themes that you're choosing. Otherwise, have a free look into the different collections we have available. You can sort them by, large inventories, small inventories, minimalist styles. You can sort by free, paid, or by industry. So again, take a look and see what works best for you so you can play around. A lot of the settings will be familiar or similar to what I've been doing in the debut theme, but some of them may differ as well. So it may have some extra kick or punches to help you kind of showcase your products and make your website and business stand out. All right. I'll give you a quick demonstration of what to do when you download a new theme. So I'm going to go ahead to the free section here because you can download any of these themes. So I might take a look at Boundless and see what this particular theme looks like. If I click on it, I can preview a demo of the theme or I can install the theme. So if I click on install, it gives me the option to publish as my theme store or install as unpublished. If I've already launched my website, I don't want to disrupt my viewers' kind of experience. So I want to install it as unpublished. That way I have the ability to customize the theme before I let it go. So, before I let it go live. So I'm going to go ahead and let it install. I'm going to take a quick break to catch my breath and I'll be right back with you. All right, thanks so much for letting me catch my breath. Okay, so I see that the theme is installed. If I go ahead and head back to my online store and I refresh. So my debut theme stays as it is because I do like what I've done so far with it. If I scroll down, I'll now see Boundless and I have the ability to preview what this theme will look like with my store. But you'll notice that, again, I have these placeholder images. So I want to go ahead and customize the theme. So I'm going to go ahead and close this preview and I can customize the theme. And I can go ahead and take a look at some of these settings here. So you can see that the setup is a little bit different than my debut theme. So I can go in and take a look at the slideshow. I can upload an image and see what that could potentially look like. Perfect. Might want to see I want to see if I can upload a logo. Just logo text, I guess. Yeah, so I can't. Oh, this is the logo image. My apologies. I misread that. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to upload my logo. There we go. That's what it's asking for. Silly me. So I want to use custom logo. Okay, so then what if I have an image underneath it? What does my logo look like? So I'm going to upload an image. Ooh, so my logo is quite dark on the image, so I might not like that. Image overlay color, what if I made it lighter? And then if I change the opacity, ooh, just so it'll help brighten up my logo. That works a little bit, I guess. Otherwise, I would just change the color of my logo. Instead of using gray, I might change it to white or something. So I would use a photo editing software to do that before I upload it again into Shopify. But as you can tell here, I can go ahead and kind of play around with the different settings that are available to help me kind of set up the look and feel of my website. So if I go back to my regular settings, I now have this text area to type in some information. Have a look around. What does that say? Our handmade jewelry. Okay, sweet little message there. Let's see my home page. I might want to change it to, let's see, my jewelry collection. So I have the images here and they would show side by side. So this theme may not work for me in the sense that I have very few products to show on the home page. I only have 3 and I probably won't be adding any more. So this theme may not be the best for me. I quite like the debut, so I'm going to go back and just leave it as is. So I kind of tried it out. I didn't quite like it, but let's say if you did try a new theme and you did like it and you're ready to launch after you've customized your new theme, all you would need to do is publish this theme and it will replace debut and it'll just swap out. Everything else will remain as is. The settings for your previous theme here will remain as is. And again, you can go in and change it however you'd like at any time. So that's how you would be able to switch between theme to themes. And you'll notice that I didn't have to recreate my products. It was just pulling the product information from the products tab. It was pulling, my page information from the page tabs, etc. I didn't have to recreate it, but I did have to re-enter some of those featured images and just kind of navigate and relink some of those contents I've created from theme to theme. So I hope that generally answers some of the questions you may have about the different looks and feels of your theme. All right, so we talked a lot about how to kind of customize your website. On the storefront, everything looks fantastic. It looks as though everything is up and running from the get-go, so we can basically start selling. But a lot of this has not been completed because there's still a lot of nitty-gritty details we haven't gone over. So I'm going to go over those details with you right now. So on the back end of your store, everything that we need to set up is under the settings. And if we click on settings, you'll notice in the secondary menu, there's going to be a lot of things that we'll cover today. So for starters, the store name, we want to make sure that you enter that information correctly. So I might do little trinkets, 2 separate words. And anytime that a contact form is submitted, the email would be submitted to the email address that you have listed here. So you want to make sure that this information is correct. This account email, anytime that Shopify needs to get in touch with you, we'll use this to get in touch with you. So none of these emails will be displayed publicly. It's just a way for us to allow your customers to get in touch with you if they need to. So the contact form will be sent to this customer email address. Make sure that you go through and you fill out your store information and your formatting information. Let's focus more on some of the things that you do need to set up. So as an example here, payments, we want to make sure that you get paid. If you're in North America or Australia or the UK, you'll notice that Shopify payments will be your default setup because these are the areas that we have Shopify payments available. And all you would need to do to complete the account setup is click on this button, and we'll ask you some information about your business. So are you an individual sole proprietorship? For me, in this particular case, if I'm building my own jewelry, yes, I am. So I'm not a registered business quite yet. I'm still small and starting off, so I can fill in the information according to what I have here. If I am registered, I can say that I'm a corporation or a nonprofit or partnership, etc. We will ask you for some personal details for underwriting or kind of putting a face to a business. We would need to ask you some information about your personal details. We also need you to fill in information about your particular product, so average order per product, average price per order, how long it'll take for you to ship out. So that way we get a general idea of how long your customer should wait to receive their products. And it's always good information to use our Pages tool to create a shipping policy page and have that connected to your website as well. I think it's good practice to let your customers know how long to expect for their items to be received to avoid any kind of misinformation. We'd also like for you to put in a description of what type of products you're selling. And this little piece of information here is to show you what your customers would see on their credit card statement. So we want to make sure that you fill this information in so that, if they get their credit card bill and they're like, hey, I don't recognize this store, that may cause some confusion. So we want to make sure that you put your shop name or your business name so that your customers won't get confused. So in this case, my business is going to be called Little Trinkets. I might want to put maybe my website name if I have that on there, but I think Little Trinkets should do. Have a phone number in case they have any information that they need from me based on their transaction here. And then the Shopify will also ask you for your bank account information. So anytime that your customer enters their credit card information, we want to make sure that you get paid for that order. So in order to do that, we need your bank details so that we can know where to deposit your money into. Once you've filled out this form, you'll click on the complete account setup, and that's it. We pre-approve all of our merchants, and we may do an audit later on when we've made some sales. If you have any specific type of products that that could be a high risk, or it could be kind of in like a gray area or anything like that, then you want to make sure you read our terms and services. There are certain products or businesses that we can't support. If you're not quite sure, I would highly recommend for you to read our terms of services before you complete the account setup. But otherwise, for something like a jewelry shop, t-shirt shop, feel free to complete the account setup. If we have any additional details we need from you, we'll be in contact. But otherwise, yeah, it's a very complete form. Once you submit, you're ready to sell. Now, if you're not in North America and you're not able to use Shopify payments, you might see a different setup. So in this case, if I deactivate the service, for our merchants that are not in North America, you may see an accept credit cards card like this. And on the bottom right-hand corner, you can select a different gateway that is already integrated with Shopify. So these are gateways that you can use. So if you don't want to use Shopify payments, you don't have to. You can use any of the different payment gateways that are available. In this case, I'm going to activate a bogus gateway because we will go through some test settings. So I'm going to make sure that I go through that test with you guys later on. So I'm going to activate this. Alongside a major credit card gateway, you can activate a secondary payment option. So you can use PayPal, alternative payments like Bitcoin, or any of those digital currencies. If you have, a service where you're allowing people to deliver within your local area, you may want to do like a cash on delivery or money order, bank deposits. If you activate this service, you are required to create a set of instructions that your customers will have to follow. And if you use a manual payment gateway, Shopify won't have any hands on any of the cash because we assume that you will. So you want to make sure that you keep track of this information manually. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because I'm not going to activate that service. But yeah, these are largely our payment settings that we want to make sure that you fill out. So we want to make sure that you get paid for your orders. All right, next in the nitty-gritty details, we want to head over to your shipping. And you'll notice here that we do have, the shipping from information. There's a couple warning signs for us here. So it's just giving you some recommendations for things that you have to do. So before I can, purchase shipping labels, I have to have a credit card on file. So you can purchase shipping labels through Shopify. We'll invoice you right away, but I can't do that right now because I don't have a credit card on file. We also want to make sure that there's a valid shipping address on file. So we want to make sure that you go through and edit this information. So I might go something like this, can save it, and then it gets rid of that warning message. So in my local carrier, I can use Canada Post to calculate my rates. If you're in the United States, you'll notice that you'll have USPS activated. So what this means is if I've added a weight for all of my products, when my customers check out, the system will calculate the total weight of all of the products, and it'll also calculate the total weight of this box size here. So I may want to change that because the dimensions of this package is very large. So I might want to do, a 2-ounce package, but the length and width and height of this particular package is going to be smaller. I want to say maybe it's 12. Oh, sorry. I think the length is 12, but might be like 8 by 12 by, 1 for like an envelope. I'm not sure about those sizes. If you're unsure as well, you may want to contact your local carrier and see what kind of package sizes they have so that you can enter in the correct dimensions and weight. But essentially what happens at checkout is your customers will have, maybe 1 or 2 items. Shopify will take the weights of all those items, take the weight of your package. We pass it along to Canada Post so that Canada Post can calculate the correct rates for your customers based on their shipping address and based on where you're shipping from. So your shipping from address here. So that eliminates any of the guesswork that you need to do for your shipping information, so your shipping calculations. Now this is for local carriers only, so if you're in the United States, it's USPS, and for Canada, it's Canada Post. If you want to use any other carriers, ask our team, our support team, about carrier calculated shipping so that we can connect you to any other carriers like FedEx or UPS or DHL, etc. Or there are certain apps out there that can help you calculate rates as well. So in this case, there's not much more that we need to do. But if I wanted to create a flat rate shipping, I have the ability to do that too. And I'll show you quickly how to do this. So right now, zones are broken up into different areas that I'll be shipping to. I'm going to be shipping to Canada, and I'm going to be shipping to the rest of the world. Now, I don't want to sell internationally just yet. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to delete this zone because I want to start off small first. I want to see how well I do in Canada before I kind of broaden my customer base. And then I'm going to go ahead and edit Canada. So because of the new year, I want to offer free shipping. So I'm going to go by price-based rates. I can go add rate, free shipping, and I might go minimum order price is $0. So it doesn't matter what they spend, as long as they spend something, the rate will be free. So this is a quick promo I'm offering right now for a limited time, like I mentioned on my website there. And if I no longer want to offer it, I'll go back and I'll just click on the X to get rid of it. Now, if later on I want to do a promotion based on how much they've spent, I might want to do free shipping for orders that are over $75 and up. Right? Okay. So let's go back to shipping. Now I'll show you something else as well. So let's say I've been doing really well. I've liked that, I've had a great customer base in Canada. Now I've had a lot of, inquiries about shipping to the United States. So instead of adding the rest of the world, what I can do is I can add another zone. So again, zone just means a different area that you'll be shipping to. So if I add shipping zone, I'm going to be asked to give it a name. So I might do United States. I'm going to add a country. You'll notice that a list will come up with all the different countries I can add. I can also add it based on region too. So Europe, rest of the world, North America. But in this case, I just want to add United States. You'll also notice that it says 62 of 62 states. So why is that? If I click on edit, I'll get another pop-up box that tells me why. So it also includes all the territories. So I may not want to ship to the territories because it may cost me more. So I might want to remove like American Samoa, Federated States of Micronesia, Guam. I might want to remove Marshall Islands. Quickly go through if I recognize anything. Northern Mariana Islands. I might want to remove, the armed forces, etc. So I may have missed one or two in there, but you get the idea. And then I might want to add a rate. I'm going to go through Canada Post. They'll give my customers more options when it comes to shipping across the border. And I may offer them free shipping at some point. But right now, I just want to give them the option of the calculated rates if they go through Canada Post. So if I go back to my shipping page, I'll see now I have domestic Canada, and I have United States, and I'm allowing Canada Post to calculate those rates. For my customers in Canada, I have free shipping if they spend $0 and up. All right, so we've covered your payments, we've covered shipping. Next, let's go into taxes. So largely in North America, your taxes are calculated automatically, so there's not much that you need to do. So for an example, in my case, because I'm starting my store in Canada, I'll see that there's a tax rate for Canada. And in our local tax laws, as long as, I'm going to be shipping United States, I don't need to collect taxes from any of the customers that I'm shipping out internationally. But in Canada, I may need to collect different sales taxes based on the province. I can go ahead and make those edits if I need to, but Shopify largely calculates that automatically. Now, if I'm unsure of what I need to collect for taxes, I may want to talk to a tax expert or my local chamber of commerce, because there may be specific tax rates that I need to consider. For example, if I sold really expensive jewelry, they may consider that as a luxury good item. So there may be different taxes that I need to collect for luxury good items. So in order to find that out, I can't talk to Shopify about it. They're not tax experts. I should be talking to the local chamber of commerce in my local area to find out what I need to collect for sales taxes. And if I do find that out, I have the option here to set up a tax override. So let's say, for luxury goods and services, I can charge anyone in Canada, a flat rate of, 10%. So then I can go ahead and add that override. In this case, I'm going to leave it as is until I find out from my tax expert. So I'm going to go ahead and click on taxes, and that's it. So again, largely when it comes to taxes in North America, it's all calculated automatically for you. If you notice anything different or taxes that need to be charged separately, please let us know or get that confirmed by a tax expert before you get in touch with us. All right. Last but not least, I do want to go over our account page. Because as you're the account owner, you'll have all the information that you can access here. But later on, what I may want to do is hire someone to help me customize my website, or I may have staff that will help me do some of the work for me. So if I want to add someone to my account, I can go ahead and click Add Staff. And I can type in their first name. So I might do Wesley. So I give them full permissions. If I uncheck this, that means I can only give them limited access to certain areas of my site. But I'm going to leave that as full because they're going to be someone I trust. I'm going to send them an invite. And what that does is they will get an email that lets them invite them into my shop, but they can only log in as a staff member. That way I keep my credentials, my password, my user information to myself. And anytime I need to remove staff, I can click on their staff profile here. I can edit the information, or I can delete their account. So I think this is really important for account owners to be aware of. And other information about your account page also includes, your account summary. So any kind of fees such as, invoices for your shipping labels that you may purchase will show up here. Your invoices for your monthly services will show up here as well. If you need to pause the store, if you need to find an expert for your store or close your store, all that information is available on your account page. As long as you're logged in as the account owner, you can make those changes. Any other staff won't have access to make any changes on this particular page. All right, so we've set up our website, we set up our payment, we've set up our shipping, our taxes. One of the things I want to cover with you is setting up your domain name, because at the start of our webinar, if you remember way back then now, I indicated that in order to get to the website, your customers would need to type in your store name.myshopify.com. Now, let's say if you have a domain name, or if you don't, but you want to have one, so that it's easier for your customers to go to your website. Under Online Store, you have the option to go to Domains. If you have an existing domain you own, you can click on Connect Existing Domain and type in the information here, and it gives you a set of instructions that you would need to do on the domain host's site. So let's say if you purchase your domain from GoDaddy, you might want to click on Connect Existing Domain and you type your domain name. It'll give you a set of instructions where you need to log into GoDaddy to make the changes or contact GoDaddy support to make those changes. If you don't have a domain name, you might want to buy a new domain name. So if I click on buy a new domain name, so I might do littletrinkets.com. Oh, it tells me how much it might cost. So this one is $13 per year. If I check the availability, I can see if someone already owns it. Bad luck for me. It looks as though someone already owns littletrinkets.com. So I might double check and see what other information is available. So I can do littletrinkets.net. Is .ca available? Looks like that domain's already taken. So you can double check and see what is available for you, and you can get kind of custom domain names if you'd like. Yeah, so you can take a look and see how cool it is. And again, the prices are listed here for you, and you can take a look and see how much you want to spend for that. So I don't know if there's jewelry, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, these are kind of cool. Like if I wanted to do little trinkets.gift, I think that's kind of cool. Oh, what? Someone's already taken it. Oh man, I guess this is a really popular name, but I think you get the idea here. So once you have that all set up, whenever you logged into Shopify as the admin, you'll see your Shopify store name. But if you have your domain set up here, you'll have the ability to choose what your customers will type in to get to your Shopify store instead. I'm going to pretend and add something here. So I'm going to go littletrinkets.gift. Let me see if I can trick that. Okay, so see, it gives me a set of instructions. Please log into your domain provider, and it gives you a set of instructions. Please set your A record to this information. So say I bought this from GoDaddy, then I can go ahead and do that. Okay, so right now my customers will have to type in littletrinkets.myshopify.com to get to my website. But once I've completed the setup here and it no longer says setup required, I can choose that my customers type in littletrinkets.gift to get to my website instead. So that way it's a little bit easier to remember, and it's a more professional looking domain name. But I'm going to go back to littletrinkets.myshopify.com. All right, so we've covered all the nitty-gritty details. We covered domains. The last thing is that we want to do is making a test order before we start removing your storefront password here. But I'm also going to delete these domains because I don't want to use something that someone already owns, just in case. So I'm going to remove that. Perfect. Okay, so let me show you how to make a test order. I'm going to go to my online store here, and I'm going to go to my products, and I'm going to add a couple items. So do you remember how when I set up my payments, I used a bogus gateway? So there was a set of instructions in there that told you how to place a test order. I do remember them, but if you need more help, then we do have a link in our payment settings to find out what those instructions are. So this will be really quick. I'm just going to add a couple items to my cart here. I'm going to check out because I just want to test what this experience will be like for customers when they're checking out. So I have a checkout page. So this tells me that I haven't customized my checkouts because I have the ability to go into my theme settings to customize it. I can add my logo, I can change the colors around a little bit. So that's the first thing that I see. I'm going to try to place an order now. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to place an order as if I was a customer. Let's see my shipping rates. So these are the Canada Post rates that is given to me based on my information that I've entered and the weight of my order plus the package. And then, but I also have a promotion right now for free shipping, so I'm going to go with free shipping. And then I can enter in my credit card details. To simulate a successful transaction with a bogus gateway, the credit card number that I need to put in is just one. The name has to be a first and last name, so I'm going to put Sue Shopify. And then any future dates, I might do December 2018, and any 3 numbers for the CVV. So I'm going to complete the order. So let's see what the process will look like. Beautiful. So it says, thank you, Sue. So it says, thank you, your customer, for placing an order. Your order is confirmed. They've received your order. So your customer has the option to bookmark this particular page so that they can come back to it and track the progress of their order. And then they also have the option to just continue shopping. Now, if you want to see what that order looks like in your Shopify admin, you can go to your login. You would have received an email to indicate to you that an order had come through. And if you go to your orders page, you'll see an order had come through here. And this blue line here indicates that this is a new order. If you click on the order number, you can see the order details. So this customer had purchased 2 of these pendants. They have their name, their email address, their shipping address. If I need to refund them, I can. If I have any additional information. So the risk level, the billing address country matches the country from which the customer placed the order. They have the IP address. If there's any risky businesses, like they're shipping to out of country, but their credit card was issued from a different country, you might want to dig into this a little bit, but the risk analysis here indicates that it's a low risk. So then let me take a look and see what else. It tells me that $113 was processed by a bogus gateway. If I click on this, it tells me a bogus gateway, so it's a forced success. So there's more information from the gateway. So this would be important if, say, your customer said that, hey, I tried to check out, but I had an issue when I typed in my credit card. If you click on this, then you can find out messages. So the message might say, oh, the card was declined or insufficient funds. You might see information like that, so you can, relay that information to your customer. If you need to communicate with your staff, you can do that too and leave messages. So I can indicate this is a test order, delete this please later. So I'm just leaving my messages for myself. But if you have other staff members, that way everyone's on board on the same page. They can read the same messages. Let's see here. Okay, so when it comes time to fulfilling the order, I can go ahead and click on continue here. And I'm given 2 options. I can buy and print a shipping label from my local carrier, or I can mark it as fulfilled. So the difference between the 2 is if I buy the shipping label, I have the sample box that's put in, I have the total weight. Before I can purchase, I have to enter a credit card information. But essentially, I can basically choose, what option I'm gonna use from my carrier to ship out the items, and I can notify my customers of the shipping. So this helps, in the sense that you don't have to recreate the shipping information on the carrier's website to get the label. Shopify has that already input in there for you. So we're connected to the local carrier so that we can just generate the labels for you and we invoice you right away for them. But what I might do is, if I live next door to a Canada Post, what I can do is mark the item as fulfilled, and I may have already dropped it off, and they gave me a tracking number. So I just put that tracking number in, and I can indicate, yeah, I sent it with Canada Post, and I want to indicate to them that I've shipped it, and it includes the tracking number, so I fulfill items. And now it's been fulfilled. So now that it's been marked fulfilled, I can kind of archive this order and it puts it out of my mind. So if I go back to orders page, this order is no longer blue. It's a gray link. And for the customer, oh, I didn't save it. For the customer, see if I can do that. Little trinkets, thank you page. There we go. So for the customer, if they refresh their page, they'll see the Canada Post tracking number here, and they can click on it to track their post. So there you have it. So we've completed an entire setup of a store online. We've set up the website, added all your products, added all your content, customized the look and feel. We set up all your payment options, your taxes, your shipping. We've created a test order. Like really, we did as much as we could along the way. And yeah, and that's it. That wraps us up. I hope I've answered all of your questions, and I hope you found this webinar session information like very useful. If you have any questions or feedback about this, please get in touch with us and let us know. You have my name. My name is Sue. So yeah, I hope that was it. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else that I can cover before I let you guys go, but that's about it. So I hope you've enjoyed my session today, and thank you again for joining us. If you have any questions, please use our help.shopify.com to address any questions you may have. We've got some beautiful resources in there with some brand new spanking videos, and I think that you guys should check them out. There's like the same tutorials that I went through, but in shorter clips, so you don't have to rewatch this. And yeah, other than that, if you have questions, get in touch with our support team. We're available 24/7 when I'm not doing these recordings. I'll be part of the team that answers your emails, your chats, and your phone calls. So get in touch with us. Don't be shy. We're always happy to help. So again, thank you for joining my webinar session today, and I hope you've enjoyed it and found it useful. And best of luck to you and you guys' businesses, okay? All right, bye for now.